Pony edition.
Live from the UK, it's Next Level Show Pony Night.
I've not even told. We've still gone with take your globles off.
I was gonna say, oh shoot, you stole my thunder. Tonight it's a glow model affected special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've just decided to go live. Nobody's listening now anyway, so you're all right for a bit, NASA. I was just gonna say something, but
I got you.
oh yeah, we were telling Yumani and the new guy. I don't. I'm down on the screen. What? Spaceman. Okay. Yeah, Rumpus is the one of the characters that I don't know. They defend the globe, but they defend the globe against what they presume are flat earthers. But as I've always said, I am not a flat earther. So whenever I come with anything, it's what I know to be true and what we've tried to prove. So we've only tried to prove what I know to be true, right? And it's proving stuff that we can in reality, and that's all we've ever done. But there's a group of people, globe fanatics, that think we are flat earthers. So they come in with the mission to debunk what they presume to be flat earth, but it's not. We just come in from reality and they're triggered.
Could it be said in a different way? Like in the arena as a whole, you either have to be one or the other. You know, globe, flat.
I think so, yeah. Within yeah.
Okay, well, in this room, I would see it as one or the other also, but you're either model afflicted or not model afflicted.
I suppose.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, there's a dichotomy. I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I'd like that.
Well, I mean, no, seriously though.
Yeah.
If you could drop the globe or flat, if you came in here, could you drop the model affliction? Either way.
Yeah.
I mean, could you say, I'll come in not model afflicted?
Yeah, take your globles off. The globles were Buster's idea, actually.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough for them, Buster.
Well, it is because there's been 2 or 3 people, and it's been on my mind for like the last week. It's accepted information. Once you've accepted it, you're just led down a path that, I mean, can you drop that? Can you drop a model?
I don't think so. Take the straight line, for example, right? You see it right there, exactly what you're talking about, Buster. You tell them straight line, you achieve it. How long could it go? Okay, it could go forever. But then, as soon as you transfer that line on Earth, instantly they think of a basketball.
Well, okay, so that's a great point. Straight line, shortest distance from A to B, it's a straight line. And 99% of people will say, but then you've got a model afflicted person that would say, well, but on a surface.
Exactly. That's where the disconnect happens, right there at that moment. Yep. They know it's true, right?
Like all I hear is noise when these people open their mouth. It's just noise, and the more noise, it's like what?
Yeah, well, they've been model afflicted. It's throughout their whole life, right? They live on a sphere, so anything that they think of, right away, their mind starts there at the sphere, right away.
Yeah, we talk about a straight line, how to make one in reality. But then somebody that comes along model afflicted, they would say, well, but how do you make a straight line?
It's that, well, but that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where they can't, like, that's where the cog disc kicks in. They know it's true. They know it has to be, but hey, wait a minute. We're living on a ball, so it just can't be. That's yeah.
Dang.
Hashtag take your globles off.
Take your globles off.
Yeah, that's why
But
I
not
say
just
water.
it's not just the globles, is it? It's all of the models.
Yeah. That's what I was saying in the beginning. In the arena as a whole, it has to be either this model or that model. But you come in here, we're just like, what about reality? Let's drop the models. Take the model off. Model glasses off. The moggles.
Yeah.
Well, the ballers have to label you. Once they label you, it's easy to ridicule you. So if they put you in the flat Earth camp, I mean, they have two presidents laughing at flat earthers, right? So it's easy. It's natural.
Yeah, but Nathan Oakley did it last night too. Like, so it doesn't work the other way around. Like, I mean, I've been hearing it from 24/7 as well for ages. Like, welcome to flat Earth. Right? Every time they think they've debunked the other model, right? Their model affliction, that puts you on this side.
But it's still bad because welcome to flat Earth. Welcome to 2D Earth.
Yeah.
Well, the Globers
Already
argue for a
on
2D
there.
Earth. Yeah, they already argue for a 2D Earth too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it?
The first
2D
time I
Earth
heard
or
about this, I went to
2D Earth or
college.
2D Earth? Y'all, sorry.
And this guy from Canada, he's in our college here in Norway. And I go down, we are training Aikido, and I go down to the cafeteria to have some tea. And my brother is talking to this Canadian guy, and I'm out of the blue. Like, there are two things he claims here. The Earth is flat, and Donald Trump is Jesus Christ. Like, literally, this is what he says. Like, so right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to debunk everything and just proving this guy wrong. I know, like, what do we know of Donald Trump? I ask him, I know this person and that person, and who knows. But like, I go to Saru and I say, oh, this guy is a lunatic. He believes this and that. And now I'm here.
Welcome.
here.
The logic brought you here.
His problem was he couldn't logically explain anything. He couldn't explain. You just you get a black hole under a pizza. That's what he tried to, like, you have the whatever we're standing on is flying at the speed of light, but behind it you have a black hole at 99.99999% the speed of light. Like, it does, like, it's fallacious. You can't have both black holes and the argument, you know. It's still like so I just want someone to logically I don't know. Like, I'm out of words. I just want to listen. I don't want to listen to chatter. People saying things that are just nonsense.
Yeah.
I feel your frustration.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but you got to understand, regular people, right? They don't think the way we do. Like, they have a certain concept, the model, what we've been talking about in their heads, and to them, for the first time hearing it, it sounds to them just as crazy as you. I can tell you, you know, I'm gonna fly. I can fly. That's how crazy it sounds to them, because to them it's all been sorted out. You see what I mean? And when they get conflicting information, it's like, whoa, you know, some people just can't handle it.
And he's like, oh, you gotta believe me. Well, like, this is not something I adopted from you people. I don't believe anything.
And that's probably why
I feel like I've lost from the get-go if I believe everything you say. Then there's no conversation.
Yeah. Don't.
Did that guy?
Oh, go on.
Sorry, Deb.
I was going to say, yeah, like I've always told my lads, my sons, that, like, don't ever take everything I say as though it's anything, right? You've got to go and check it out for yourself to find it. So yeah, don't trust anyone. They could be lying to you. Like, just check it out for yourself. Make sure you can verify it. But
Yeah,
basically,
no matter what their name is, no matter how high rank they have, even Einstein or any name like that that's been put out there for us to revere, even them, especially them, don't
Rank.
believe what they say.
I love linguistics. I love etymology. I love the meaning of words. Rank. If you rank, you stink. And everybody's got to smell you.
yeah. So
let me.
be honest. Go on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We stick with what we can try and prove ourselves logically, geometrically. We don't get into all the nonsense. That's why I muted Rumpus. We don't need him. You heard what he's here to do. We don't need that. We don't want it. I personally start with, if they're going to tell me that water curves, drops away from my feet at a certain rate, that doesn't logically add up to me. So I'm going to try and prove or disprove that. I can't measure curved water, so I don't think it curves real easily, right? That's as easy as it gets for me. So each of us have our own reasons, but that's where it is for me. Logic and geometry you can't get around it.
I couldn't agree with you more, Rakia. That's what did it for me, water. If anybody's unsure, just think of that. When have you ever in your life experienced water curving? Like, you've been on water and you've been in a boat and you said, oh, okay, I'm coming up to that hill now, or I'm coming up to that drop now. No, never. Doesn't happen.
Kill them.
Yeah, I
all
remember.
talk.
It's a waterfall. Sorry, I want to make that clear. Yeah.
Water at rest lies evenly along the plain.
Yep.
Yeah. Song about that somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say that would make some wicked song lyrics right there.
Not a good song. Quit promoting that crap.
It was my first one. Give me a break.
You hot mic him, Rakia.
I remember a conversation that you and I had, Spaceman, probably a year ago or so, where I made this point about the water laying at rest horizontally. And you were giving me like, but what about this kind of things? And I just brought it back to the water every time. Like, it was a good few times it just went in that one circle about the water. And yeah, I think the water is very important. That's what completely settled it for me as well. Like, it's no question anymore. There's no point. It's done.
Well, it's still questionable, right? And let me be clear. If tomorrow you came to me with a method and a process and the tools needed that I could go out and measure it, I probably already have all the tools and I could understand your method if you explained it to me, and I went out and measured curved water and it started making logical sense to me, then believe me, I have no problem going with the truth. So, but the problem is no one's done that. No one can do that. I don't see anyone in the foreseeable future doing that. It's 2022 and we can't go out and measure 8 inches over 1 mile of water. Come on, man.
Can we just address the
Sorry about that.
the dude that's flat earth obsessed, obviously highly model afflicted, but he seems to be posting pictures, I would say, dubious at best. 2 of them definitely look like models and the other one looks like perspective compression.
Definitely perspective compression with some optical effects going on there, I'd say, as well.
I'll be right back. I gotta fetch some spaghetti.
Magnifying a slight curve. Let me have a look. I think we've got
Do you know it said all about that?
Who is that? Do you know Mick West?
Mick, that's it.
See, now we're live. We give chance to talk about all of these things, right? That in the past we have had dealings with Mick West, over this very picture. And Mick West said, it's a bit of a small one, that, isn't it? But that's that picture that you've put in there. And Mick West says that's because of the effects of perspective compression, magnifying a slight curve. But if there's no curve and there's a bit of refraction, then perspective compression and the techniques that they used when they took that picture would magnify the refraction a lot. Cause a curve where there isn't one.
Let's be clear, when you say that picture, you're talking about Rakia's bridge there.
No, not the bridge. The picture is the towers, the water towers. That's exactly what Mick West was talking about. Was not the water towers, the pylons. When he says, about the pool cue, it is that picture. And there's the pool cues. If you can see that he's managed to get a massive curve in the bridge, just like he does in the pool cue. Well, he manufactures the curve in the pool cue, and the picture's got refraction already there.
Yeah, it's a good spot there by Chad. Look,
Yeah.
that pylon right in the background. How tall's the fucking pylon?
Yeah, it's just like the amount of tricks that there is. But as you saw tonight with Sean a bit earlier, we had Little G come round. That was highly embarrassing. Yeah, look, he's got the picture there. Look. Show that flat earth evidence. It's showing you there. Look, he's manufactured a curve in the pool cue. Like, I can't see how you think that's a win. That disappeared, that picture. Mick West exposed how they did it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so if I can say something to that. So of course in the queue the curve is manufactured, but the pylons on the lake, that's not manufactured.
Yeah,
and I
it's
don't
the
see
technique.
how
The technique they
exactly.
use manufactures a curve.
Yeah, the bottom pictures, that's a manufactured curve.
Yeah, and the
But,
top one is a slight bit of refraction, like the amount of curve that there actually is in manufactured. Right?
So how would you explain refraction to cause a downward curve if
How
there's
would you
if
explain
it's
a
a flat
curve?
surface?
How would you explain
Yeah.
a curve that goes all the way to the butt of the queue?
Well, because the queue is curved.
It's not. That's
It
the bit
is.
of information you're missing. It is
The
not
queue
a
is
curved queue. No.
It is. There's
no.
a huge cinder block on it. That's actually explained. I can link to that.
It's a couple of millimeters.
Yeah,
That
that's
little
just
block
enough.
at the other
that's-
end. Yeah, but the
just
curve, the
enough.
curve goes all the way down to the butt of the queue. That
Yeah.
is not real. That is a manufactured trick of the camera.
Exactly.
Mick West exposed
No,
that.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's a photograph of a curved queue.
It's a tiny. It's bent under
bent,
its
exactly.
own weight.
Exactly. And so how can it replicate these pylons on a supposed flat
How much
surface?
refraction is there in that picture?
Which one? The bottom or the top ones?
The one of the pylons. How much refraction is there in that picture?
Well, a little bit, I suppose. There's some haze going on, but
Right, so
the refraction
what it's done
on a
then,
flat
you've,
surface
magnified
can't explain.
that slight bit of refraction into a massive bit of refraction due to the camera techniques that they've used.
No,
Yes.
On a flat surface, you won't get a refraction curving stuff downwards. That's not gonna happen.
We'll get refraction, and you get a manufactured, magnified curve.
It wouldn't go downwards. Never. That can't happen.
It shows you with the Q. Look.
Yeah, but there's no refraction. That's actual curve. The Q shows actual curve of an object.
See how much curve there is in the Q?
Yeah, exactly.
How much?
Well, it's pretty slight. The center picture shows, yeah.
But the curve in the picture, because they've done a technique, a photographic technique, to manufacture that curve that's in the Q, a little tiny fraction of a curve, bent under its own weight, right? That is manufactured. The curve actually goes all of the way down the butt of the Q. Now, that obviously doesn't happen, right? You can't manufacture a curve to go all the way to the butt of the Q. So therefore, it must be a photographic technique that Mick West, I don't even say used, but they told him about it when he went there to go and do this. I'd say Mikey on the Bayou, shout out Mikey, would be the one that took this picture, not Soundly even. Although Soundly says he did 3 years study on the bridge, not this particular bit. The causeway.
Oh right, yeah. There's some cool footage from the. It's not really
Soundly though, is it? Who do you reckon it was that did it? I mean, Soundly did that one where they did that lion thing with Jesse Kozlowski. Yeah. It's interesting to bring this picture back up. We've got a man that goes over it all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on this. I've taken the same exact picture from the same exact angle on different days, and it's always different. And it's also funny that Soundly or whoever took this picture always takes it at the same angle, but never pans over to the south and takes a video of the power line running north to south, basically, that will not show curvature because he's at a different angle. There's also a train track behind him that is as horizontal as it gets. You could also get at a certain angle and make it appear curved due to the lensing effect and refraction that's involved. This is a heavily refracted picture. That water is a mixture of salt and fresh water mixing together. Right behind that interstate right there is some locks, and that lets and prevents water from flowing into that area from a overflow of the Mississippi. When the Mississippi floods the plains from the snow melt, they'll open those locks and cold fresh water will enter that area and mix with the brackish, salty water that is warmer because it's a shallow lake and create all types of distortion. I feel sorry for you if this is your proof and you're trusting these type of guys. I posted a picture of...
It's good evidence. It's not proof.
Yeah, it's not good evidence of anything other than refraction. It's good evidence of refraction. Now, if you'll look up... Okay, hang on, give me 1 second. If you'll look up at 4:15, I posted a picture of the bridge that I took of Lake Pontchartrain, showing that the bridge is underwater and curves towards the viewer, which was me. 20 minutes later, I went to the opposite side of the bridge on the same day, 20 minutes later, and then the bridge curved towards me, the opposite direction that it appears to curve now, and it still appeared to be underwater. It's not.
Yeah,
it's a straight bridge. Yeah, it's a straight bridge that's above the water. So how do you say it's not refraction or miraging, that it's earth curve, when all these effects can be photographed by you? Like, you could go out there and get the same effect.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a huge difference between the photograph you posted, which shows an inferior mirage, and the ones I posted, which show a downward curve that you cannot explain by refraction.
You see the shiny water in your pictures? That's where the mirage starts. It just so happens that's where the curve starts. So if you're going to
but-
say that, then I'm going to stop talking to you because you're not being, you're not being on the level.
You don't
You have to
understand
be
what
truthful with
ephemerage is.
yourself.
Wait,
You understand what ephemerage is.
Did he just start with I don't
Rumpus.
understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rumpus.
You don't understand what an
My
ephemerage
Yeah,
is.
who unmuted him? What?
He's muted.
You only get one chance.
Bye, Rumpus.
Yeah.
Come back another
On a
day when
day.
you can be civil.
One chance a day. That's it.
Yeah, we don't need Rumpus. You understand what we're saying here? I'm not sure who I'm talking to, but I've been there hundreds of times. I'm 40 minutes away from there right now. Drive over it daily almost. This is a optical phenomena caused by the conditions of the day. It's called a mirage. Look it up. Or I'll post it here.
I know what mirages are, but they don't create curves in an image.
Can I paraphrase like what Rukia is saying? Like you are, what's it called? I'll get back to you.
The point here is you have a man who
No, that's what it is. Yeah.
practically is there every day, fishes there, drives by there, hangs around there, grew up there, played as a kid there. And look at the picture he just posted.
I think he just left. But what I was gonna say is that,
No, I'm here.
no, not you, but the guy posting the pictures.
Oh, do you
I'm
mean?
posting the pictures.
Oh,
Oh, the
no,
other
no,
He
guy
didn't
got it.
leave. He didn't leave.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like cherry picking what
Right,
you
change
need
the
to
name.
reify.
I posted
yeah.
a
No, it's
picture of the
not.
power
It's
line
not
that
cherry
doesn't
picking.
curve.
Yeah,
I
it's very
posted a
much so
picture-
cherry picking. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I posted a picture of the power line that isn't curving, and they'll tell me that that's refracted, right? But he will tell me that the picture that is curving of the power line is earth curve and not refraction. It doesn't add up. I mean, you can't use this as any type of, if you're posting this picture as anything other than a refraction proof or mirage proof, then you're being dishonest with yourself and me. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and me, which is why I'm saying it's actually cherry picking that you're using
Yeah.
to reify a model, and it's not okay for proof. It's just
Yeah,
as
it's ridiculous.
Okay, so you claim what we see here is actually caused only by refraction. So do you have a reference
did not
for,
say
for
that.
refraction
I did
working
not-
that way?
anything.
Oh, we're
Hang
talking
on,
about.
before you
Why are
mis-
we talking
misrep-
about pictures?
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, all he was saying is he goes there, and there is a difference in the pictures. That's
Yeah.
a cherry picked picture, and
I agree.
even
There's
the guy
difference, yeah.
who went there to explain it explained it as magnifying a slight curve, as you would do in the pool cue that he showed there. Now, obviously, there's no curve for there to be magnified, but there is refraction, and not just a little bit of refraction. As he would tell you, Rakia, that's one of the best places for refraction. Literally, it's a shallow bed of water, and it's very hot. You're going to get massive refraction, and
Yeah,
that's been magnified by a technique that they're telling you they can do by showing you a
Perspective
bent
compression,
pool
yeah.
cube. Yeah,
it's called
perspective compression that bends
You will see
a pool
you will see a
cube.
curve from a certain angle, but not from another one. Yeah.
No, it's
No, I
looking
agree.
down the queue. It bends the whole queue.
Yeah, but
To
the
the
queue, no,
butt.
the queue is bent. The
It's
queue is
not.
already
The
bent
queue
under
is
its
not
own
bent
weight.
to the butt.
It is.
It's
It is.
not.
If,
I'm
if
trying
you
to find the tweet, because have you talked to Mick West?
I've read what,
Have
what
you
he
talked to
wrote
Soundly?
in his foreign post.
Have you talked to
No, I
Soundly?
haven't. I haven't.
Have
But
you
then
talked to Mick
I know
West?
exactly what they've
Have you
done
talked to
there.
Mick West?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I know what they
So
did
that
there.
we've got two on you there. I've actually talked to Mick West about this, and I've actually talked to Soundly about this.
So have I.
Yeah, and there you go. And we've got a guy that goes over the bridge and takes the pictures and can replicate all of this sort of stuff. The only one thing that he can't replicate is this technique where you can manufacture a slight curve into a massive bend in a pool cue, because that's a trick.
No, I'm afraid you're wrong.
No,
such
it's
trick
an
exists.
obvious trick.
You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You can't manufacture curve via only a photograph. That doesn't exist. That's not how light works.
My man, have you ever tried to bend a pool cue?
Under its own weight? Yeah.
No.
They're...
No. You. Which end do you think you can bend?
Well, if I create the same setup, I wedge it in between some heavy object and let it bend under its own weight. That will work.
The butt end of the Q-tip. That's what he's talking about. The butt end, the portion that you put your hand on, not the thin side, the thick side. Do you think you could?
Yeah.
You think you can bend that?
Yeah, I think I do. They're flexible for a certain range.
Give over.
I like to see that.
Dude, he put the tip under and he put like a 2 mil piece of stuff at one end, and the rest of that bend, right, has been manufactured by the photographic technique.
Do you have a reference for how that works?
Dude, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
We've been here
ages.
If you can't see that pool cue is an optical illusion, see how the brown part looks to be the same size as the butt part? You know, it's actually not, right? It's tapered down to a smaller size. But in that photograph, because of the optical illusion created, it appears to be just as fat. You see the black in front of the red, how long it is in the regular picture, and how non-existent it is in the picture where it appears curved. This is an optical illusion. This is distortion, compressed perspective, whatever you want to call it. And if you can't see that, then stop wasting our time. Sorry.
I vote since...
Can I read the tweet? This is the tweet
yes, please,
from Mick West. I took the photo because I was asking him, what the fuck's he doing with a bent pool cue? I mean, who carries a bent pool cue around with them?
Yeah, sure.
He says, I took the photo of my pool cue, which I slightly bent under its own weight. The intent was to show how perspective compression magnifies a slight curve. The photo of the electrical towers was taken by Soundly. This is all discussed here. So he's showing you how they can manufacture. The intent was to show how perspective compression magnifies a slight curve. Right, so that's what they did in the pool cue.
You can magnify a curve, but you need to have a curve. Otherwise, you won't. You won't get camera. Can't magnify something that isn't there, right?
Yeah, well, is there any refraction in the picture to be magnified?
In a picture of a 1 meter or 2 meters pool cue? No, for sure
no.
not. There's
is
not
there
much
any refraction in the other picture where there is no curve?
Hey guys, have a quick look at this.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Answer that. In the power line picture, is there refraction, sir?
Can you see spot on's pool cue?
Some probably, yeah, but
Can
refraction.
You see spot on's pool cue?
That kind of curve.
Can you see spot on's pool cue?
Oh yeah, spot on. Exactly. Yeah, that's looks pretty straight to me.
Yeah.
So if you go left or right. So if you go to the left of it, it will still be straight, right?
Yeah. He can't get it to curve. That's what I was saying. When
exactly, because
Rakia can get everything, pictures, except whatever they did to bend that pool cue. It's a photographic trick.
Did you actually read what Mick West wrote in this tweet?
Yes. I was there when he was... I was in that conversation. Talking to him about it.
Okay. Yeah, it is slightly bent. He says that. Otherwise, you won't get a curve.
So that's your proof.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to waste your time, but you know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty good evidence in my.
Okay, so what's making the power lines a slight curve?
No.
What's making it like curve? Because the
Yeah,
lake is curved.
what's making it appear
Because
curved?
the lake, the actual curvature of the Earth is making it appear curved.
So you think the top of the power lines is down in your view, appears lower in your view because of a curved water surface, not perspective, not refraction, not anything else. And before you say anything, this
that
is
would be wrong.
16 miles over the most turbulent air there is. And you think it's Earth curve causing that, not perspective, not refraction, not miraging.
It's two things. It's obviously it's perspective, which makes them appear smaller, and it's the curve
and
which
appear
makes them
lower.
down.
And the further
lower.
distance optics would appear lower, which would make a slight curve, right? Which would make a slight optical illusion of the distant part of the power line being lower. Correct?
If you refer, that's wrong. If you refer to my picture that I posted 8 minutes after the hour, you can actually see a comparison between perspective only and perspective plus curve.
Okay, so do you imagine the water's dropping away from you then?
Can you clarify dropping away?
That bit that you call curve, the water, is that going over that curve, dropping away from you?
Yeah, kind of. That's what a curve would look
so
like, yeah.
You imagine that in that lake there, the water is dropping away from you.
Pretty much, yeah. It follows the curve.
A couple of months ago, I was on a different Discord channel, and it was on about this photo, and they're saying it's not actually one photo, it's photo on photo on photo, placed in there, and it actually makes it look like it's doing that.
That's the bridge.
That's the bridge, yeah.
And that's stacked imaging. It doesn't make a curve. That just clears up the image, like makes the colors better. It's called stacking. But it does prove post-production.
Yeah, well, there was actually on about that photo, and that's saying that's how it made it curve. But
no, I can go out and take this. I can go out and take this picture of the power line almost every day because of the conditions that are in my area. And if I get at that same angle, I call it the Soundly angle, it would appear to do the same thing, refractive effects. But you're about 20 or so feet above the water on the side of the interstate there. It's in a slight curve of the interstate and it ramps up. So you're way above the water. And that power line is only about 16 miles long. It's not Earth curve. It's not even Earth curve if we live on an Earth that's curving. And this guy thinks that is such drastic Earth curve that we would live on a basketball.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. He doesn't even know the viewer height.
This is the perfect place to actually bring the Rumpus's point earlier, where he was explaining Euclidean versus spherical geometry and the straight versus the curved line, because this is basically the topic. So let's bring it back to that. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the point. They think it's dropping, but obviously not. Straight line, that's just a picture of something. You have to take what you see that obviously can be fooled by what you see and find a stronger proof. Which brings us back to the proof. And like,
I'm curious, the part of... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, somebody else was saying that was time wasting what he was doing there. Well, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it's time wasting, because at least there's a few points there that we got to point out. One of them being Rakia goes over that bridge all the time. He takes us over it in his truck. We see that, and we see the pictures he takes at the side of it. You know, it's easy to do. No problem. He'll show you the pictures. Show you how it's, how all of these pictures are taken and how different these things look on different days. I mean, it is amazing how different it looks. But it's not Earth curve. That's one thing it definitely isn't, because you don't look for Earth curve on water. Same as like you can prove that the flat Earth is not true. It's a misnomer. Well, why would you ever look for Earth curve on water? That's got to be another misnomer, as equally stupid as the...
That's a red herring, is what that is. Like a non sequitur.
No, why would the water not curve if everything else was curved?
No, Earth curve. Water is not Earth, yeah.
Water belongs to Earth. It follows the shape of
The two are
underlying-
different things.
Sorry,
Earth
wait a
and
minute.
water. I'm
The
sorry, that's an
water-
equivocation fallacy.
Yeah, the water follows the surface, did you say?
Yeah.
Like, because that's
So
what
what
water
you-
doesn't do that. If you throw a brick
It does.
into the water, there's not a brick-shaped piece that appears on the top of the water. It doesn't follow what's underneath it.
No.
That's
But
one
you
of the
can-
characteristics of water.
You can pour water into any kind of container you want, and you will see how it conforms to the shape. So whatever the shape is, water will follow.
And what
So
about the
you're
surface
doing
of
is
water?
actually
Establishes
a
a
straw
horizontal
man.
plane of
Apart from the
reference.
bottom of that container, it will not conform
Oh my
to
gosh.
the bottom of the container if the bottom of the container is domed upwards.
Yeah, but I was just pointing out that's a straw man.
So
I'm not
you
sure
had
what
an
you would
equivocation
expect water
fallacy.
to do.
You had an equivocation fallacy, as Sarangaki pointed out.
No, actually.
Yes,
if
you
I say
did.
Earth, if I say Earth, water is part of Earth. I'm not wrong, you know. I mean, we can define terms, yeah, sure. So, but I'm not sure what you would expect water to do on a globe.
Right, but you expect it to be dropping away from where you are.
Auto-afflicted.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's a constant dropping away, but it's a
Have you ever
constant
measured
curve,
it?
Yeah.
Have you ever measured it? Just say no.
Not
Just
a
say
direct
no.
measure, no. Just
Okay,
pretty hard
so-
to do.
No, you
Like,
haven't. That's
do you-
strange, don't you think?
Do you imagine that it is measurable, the drop of water from the horizontal over distance?
Yeah, you can measure a dip of the horizon. Just go to an elevated point.
No.
Ground
The
or
drop
whatever.
of the water level from
Yeah.
the horizontal.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can.
Wait, when you say yeah, you can, are you still answering that by equivocating the dip to the horizon? Is that what you're saying?
Because that's not Earth curve, sir.
It is actually. If it's dropping below my vanishing
You mean
point,
as you go up?
then it is tip of the horizon.
You mean as you go up, you think the water is dropping, or you're going up?
No, I'm going up, obviously.
Okay, so you're moving up, but you think the water is moving.
No, but
You
the
said
water
it's
would still
dropping
be-
away from you.
No, it would still lie in one horizontal line with my vanishing point.
So
but it
just
doesn't.
perspective then, not
No.
water bending down. Yeah,
No,
you're
it's
going
not
up.
what I would. It is not what I would expect on a flat plane.
Dude,
It's what
you
I
can't
would
argue
expect
this.
on
This is so lame.
Right,
If you're 6 foot,
Oh,
go ahead.
I would say, can I just check? When you're looking at the horizon, right? If you imagine you have a horizontal, like a level or something, and you make it horizontal, would that be parallel to the plane of the horizon? The level that you've got.
Yeah. If horizon is not artificial but actual, yeah.
Can you imagine anywhere where you could have a horizontal that wouldn't be parallel to the plane of the horizon?
No, I would say it's always parallel to the true horizon.
Cool.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a horizontal line. Yeah.
Can
But
you-
I'm not sure
could
what you're
you-
getting at.
Could you imagine horizontal lines intersecting with each other?
No, obviously they're all parallel.
Sweet.
Oh,
Carry on, Rick here.
Yeah, I just posted a picture of what you call Earth curve. That's a horizontal line. You have to start at the beach, let's say 6 feet. Your horizontal line would be 6 foot above the distant water. And as you gain vertical height, you would start to see a gap in between the water and the horizontal line due to your optical view. Not because the water got lower. The horizontal line got higher above the water as you went up in vertical change. 23 floors up is where this picture is taken. The horizontal line is still above the water. It's just now higher above the water, and that's your perspective view. Drop from horizontal or dip of the horizon or whatever you called it, it's not Earth curve. It's the optical phenomena.
But why isn't the waterline, the horizon, why is it not at my vanishing point, so where the crosshairs are placed?
So vanishing point, you're talking about optical now, not physical drop of water. Exactly, my point.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's all optical, obviously. Yeah, we can't really measure. There's no.
So not Earth
horizon.
curve. Thank you.
Yeah, but what is it then? What is it then?
How far away is that
Optical
vanishing
phenomena.
point? How far away is the vanishing point?
Well, if your angular resolution can't make out any details, then there will be the vanishing point.
Have a guess how far away the vanishing point would be.
It's different, but it's a few
You're
miles.
23
depending
floors
on
up. How far
visibility.
away is the vanishing point going to be?
I don't know. It depends on the circumstances.
Circumstances of you being 23 feet, 23 floors up in a...
And also the conditions of the day. So
Yeah, visibility.
not Earth curve. Again, not Earth. Everything you've said has been not Earth curve, except for you stating that horizon drop was Earth curve. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you tell me, what is the tip of the horizon?
Why should I have to tell you?
Yeah,
You told us it's an optical view. It's
No.
vanishing point.
Explain
because
what
you
your
went
image
up.
shows.
I've already done that, sir.
Don't be
Yeah, I've
silly.
already
No,
done it.
That's
Can I ask you a
driven with
question?
proof.
You said it's
fallacy.
perspective.
Yeah, you went higher above the surface of the water. You explained it to me. Vanishing point, perspective.
Yeah, it should
Conditions
all
of
merge
the day.
into one vanishing point, but it doesn't.
Now, how
It's
far
below
away
the
do
vanishing point.
the optical effects start?
Immediately, it all travels through the atmosphere.
Okay, so your vanishing point would be miles and miles away, and your
How will we
optical
discover?
effects start
How will we
immediately.
quantify that?
Yeah, and they
You can't
Yeah.
see where you're going wrong there.
Yeah, you're saying it yourself and you can't even see it. You're telling us that it's an optical effect, as we're telling you it's an optical effect, and you're disagreeing with us. Do you see this?
No, I'm saying on a flat plane, the horizon should merge with the vanishing point, but the horizon does not merge with the vanishing point. So
Because
No, that's
let me make
that's a fallacy.
In the way.
That's
It's
totally
not a
wrong.
fallacy. It's not a fallacy. It's how perspective works.
I was just
No,
gonna
wait,
ask you
wait,
something.
wait. There's an
Yeah,
assumption then. Why should the horizon rise to eye level or
Yeah,
the
I think we're
vanishing?
bringing
Like,
models
why?
into this.
Because
Yeah.
it's
This is
flat
a straw man you're
Flat plane.
building right now. That's like, can we
It's
not
not-
waste
it's
time
not.
on that? Can we go back to how you can curve a straight line? Like, that's the basics here.
No, not
Okay.
curve, no straight
I
line.
mean, we can, but that's how perspective
What
works.
is a straight line?
Yeah,
that's
please.
that's how
what's the line?
perspective works in short distances, not in the open atmosphere where the sky is really tall and you're close to the floor. You have a rudimentary, elementary perspective of what that is, and you're trying to force that on us in your model or in a model. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's not what we do here.
So we're back at refraction that somehow makes
What is
things
proof?
curve, that it makes light curve
This ain't going
downwards. So
nowhere.
do you have a single reference for refraction doing that?
Could care less about what you think, references and all
It
that.
doesn't
What
work
we see
that
in
way.
dude, if you want to troll, go somewhere else. Don't interrupt
I'm sorry.
and speak
You're
over
just
and do all that
playing.
here.
No, that's just a claim by you.
Yeah.
That is
No,
refraction.
it's what
No,
we
you
see.
came here.
You brought up light bending, not us.
Yeah, you came here. You made the claim, and now you're saying if we can't, counter your claim, then your claim holds. No, we've told you your
that's
claim is
wrong.
ridiculous. Your claim does not hold. Move on.
What I did was post an image, and you said, "Well, that's not curved. That is refraction."
Yeah, he said
I've
we've
told
talked
you
to the
the
guy
image
about
reference.
it. We've done loads more work on that than you.
Than
you
you, yeah.
just posted a picture. You've got a lovely story to go with it, but it's got nothing. There's nothing of substance there to it other than a picture and like a story about bending light. Right, we've give you loads of other things. You've got bending water as well, dropping away from you. Because see, you think you're all powerful. The water has to drop from you.
No, I don't.
I do not have water
laws of
dropping
physics.
away from where I am. That's stupid laws of physics.
So how do you explain the image that I did that posted?
We've already
that's
explained
amazing.
it. You're just circling back.
Dude.
You're ridiculous. Can we
No,
move
it's-
on from this guy, Bev?
Yeah.
Or
I don't know
Yeah,
where
see
we
you
were
later,
though.
dude.
Right? Yeah. Thanks
you just circled back.
Thanks
so
for coming.
Good luck
so we
to
can
you.
have
Yeah.
We'll
Anybody
have you
else
come
want to
next
bring up
time.
something?
Yeah. Yeah, we like we say, we were on a logic trip, and we obviously the last live stream we just decided to click it live just before, but the last live stream we did was taking out the old. This is bringing in the new, and obviously they haven't got the message. Please leave your globles at the door. There's no model needed. When we talk about it, we just talk about reality. Do not bias it to a model. Not round here anymore. It brings arguments that we don't need. We want to be working forwards. So, I mean, like, if you think the water drops away from you, good for you. We're going to bring you the evidence and the pictures to prove that that's not what's happening. It's very obvious. Yeah, that's where we're going this year. No model talk, please. Well, I mean, we're going to have to entertain a bit. But please stop it.
We can recap that, he did agree that it was optical effects starting immediately, that he hasn't measured curved water, and that he pretty much knows nothing about the picture that he posted, viewer height, distance. We had to give him all that. Yeah. We can recap and say that, so let's just move on.
Yeah. We say we have a man that can go to that very spot and take that very picture again. I personally have talked to Mick West about this, and we have talked to Soundly, both me and Rick here, about this very picture, about the stuff. We've got a on file, on record, we've got Jesse Kozlowski lying about the hump of the water. So this man here says the water was dropping away from him, but Walter Bislin made a model of the hump. That's the very model of the hump that we use in our double drop hump. Came from that very lake.
He made that model by that bridge.
Yeah.
That's the picture he posted on. That was a hump, not water dropping away. Water rising up into the middle and then dropping away.
Yeah. So we
Bislin.
have researched all of that. So if anybody else wants to come by any time and make us recap all of these facts again, I'm willing to talk about it and the knowledge we have around that sort of stuff. But it won't go well if you've got a model. You'll have to drop the model.
Which is interesting.
Go on.
That's the first thing we tried to do when I came in here anyway, right? We tried to go back to ground zero, to basics. And then we got into a little conversation about how we were interrupted, me and Spaceman, in our conversation earlier. And then the same thing happens again now. It's just an interesting observation, but I think we should go back there where we kind of started, because we haven't really gotten anywhere from it.
Yeah, well, that's it. The story is there's a new guy who's come in tonight, so welcome, Spaceman. And we were going over. He asked where could he start in all of this, because obviously this is new to him, and obviously maybe other people too. We hit upon the in order for you to be able to build anything, and especially what we do here is proofs. We try and build positive proofs rather than disproofs and be negative about it. So in order to establish a proof, you have to first off decide what it is that you want to have as a proof. Like how can you gain a proof, and what would that be? Do you already have one? And how did you get it? Like, and what would it be? What are all of the constituent parts of a proof? It's a nice green flash. It looks a little bit fake, to be honest.
Isn't it?
Maybe fake. Is that yours, Hoyma? I don't know whether you can talk or not, but is that yours?
No, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's just one of thousands that you can pick off YouTube
I've got one.
What have you.
I've got one. Don't worry about it. I've got one of my own, like real.
Yeah. So
are we derailing this again? We barely started.
I got a fake picture.
Yeah, video, GIF, whatever. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, so we're after trying to establish what it is that you would have to hold as a proof. And now I know I've thought about this quite hard for myself, and I know Saragaki has as well. Come up with some really good stuff. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish. I mean, Saragaki's given me some stuff, and it's keeping it quiet because you don't want to influence other people in what they would require as their proof. At least not like give them a list. You want to sort of let people decide what they would have as a proof. They go searching as to what a proof is. Where'd you find it? So yeah, that's the first thing. And, how do you get that proof? And then once you've established that you can hold that proof, then where'd you go from there? Well, you've got to establish a proof. And we've found over the last few days certain people that can't talk about it. Conversations get derailed. So if anybody wants to start with the building of the proof, hopefully we can get something established, and then we can start working forwards to proofs. But there's a lot of people that don't think proofs are even real. They can be established anymore. Was it Rumpus said? Not available in reality. As if
something
Rumpus,
to that effect, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost as if Rumpus thinks mathematics isn't reality, isn't it?
Yeah, if he wants to also claim or stand by the claim where that's the only place you can find proofs.
He said mathematics is the only place you can find proofs, but then he said not in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Euclid said the laws of nature are but the mathematical thoughts of God.
So Rumpus is just breaking the law of non-contradiction all blatantly, and yeah, that's
he seems
that's
to be
the gist.
separating mathematics from reality, but I mean, You can't do that, can you? Is it possible to say that proofs are only established in mathematics and then separate mathematics from reality?
Well, then you remove proof from reality in the one fell swoop, at the same time. So again, you're gonna have to talk about what is proof first. And in his case, you're gonna have to also kind of define what mathematics is also.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, been looking into this, that geometry is the foundations of mathematics because that's built upon logic, and logic is where you structure your proofs. When they say mathematics, I think they actually mean proofs within the logical formulation that gives you the truths, which mathematics obviously generated from that. But that's the foundation is the logic, and the proofs are the truths that are self-evident within the geometry / mathematics. I'd say Rumpus has got a bit of a problem on his hands, as most people seem to have with the logic.
I asked him one time if he could provide like a logical statement for that test, the pole observation he's doing, for what he is trying to prove precisely. And it was a feeble attempt, I feel, by him to actually give that statement, but he gave me a whole litany of things that he could actually prove with his test, so it's kind of hilarious. They don't really grasp logic. I'm gonna claim that right now.
The dropping of the water level, or the water away from the horizontal being measurable, is an interesting claim made by people who obviously don't know much about it. I would consider them as never actually doing any practical work, because we've actually done this stuff practically, and to imagine the water dropping away is everybody understands that's what a river does. So I don't know. Interesting. We've got text chat trolls going on in the YouTube chat. Shout out Jose JG. Boom. Not been live. Hope everything's okay. Yeah, so we've had some good fun over the last few days. I'm going to be keeping some of the videos that we've recorded over the past few days a bit behind until a later date. I was evening, Mike. I was saying we're going to try and do a few different things over the next week or so. Go live a few days. Think we'll do this was a impromptu one because we seem to have a few people decided to come round. We never did get paid NASA Shield to say anything, did we?
No.
He was embarrassed.
Why would we?
Just never said anything.
He wouldn't say anything of substance anyways.
Tomorrow night we will do logic night. We'll be going over one of our pieces, and then I don't know, maybe later on in the week do a bit of a Euclidean basic of the logic and the geometry sort of stuff, and then maybe do a weekend recap where we just let our hair down and have some stuff. But like tomorrow, we are going to be a bit more structured on the logic, and the Euclid one will definitely be proper structured, knowing nobody coming in arguing about models and stuff. Thanks, Paige. Yeah, so that'll be happening on the Discord. Anybody can come into the Discord, but we'll try and keep it a bit more controlled when we do the logic and the Euclid. But if anybody wants to come and get involved, come over. I'm gonna go and make a brew, so anybody want to chat about anything or go over any clips, anything?
Well, can I just bring up something that guy, what's his name? Homer, whatever. He's put geometry is part of mathematics. Mathematics is a branch of science. Because I asked him for a proof, and his answer to my asking him for a proof is, do you know that science, the science method, the scientific method, it doesn't prove things. So he's trying to imply that because mathematics is a branch of science, science doesn't prove anything, and geometry is part of mathematics, thereby implication that geometry is part of science, which is wrong, and thereby geometry doesn't prove anything. I'd just like him to explain that, how he comes to that conclusion.
Well, you made a statement, quote, you now want to apply science to geometry. And
yeah, you want to apply the
understand
scientific method.
How you come to that.
You were trying to apply science to geometry. You were trying to science geometry. How are you trying to do that?
It's the same thing that is done all the time. We observe something and try to put it into a model. We make a hypothesis and how to calculate it.
There are no models with geometry.
What do you mean? I mean, geometry, you can do lots of things with geometry, but geometry is obviously a part of science. I'm not sure what you're getting at with that statement. I apply the scientific method to geometry.
No, this is your statement. You are trying to apply science to geometry, not me.
It is a part of science.
Mathematics is a part of science. Theoretical mathematics is part of science.
Mathematics is always theoretical, but that's besides the point. I mean, if you say
so how are you trying to science? How are you trying to science geometry?
What do you mean to science?
Well, you are saying that geometry is part of science. It's scienceable. How do you science geometry? Please explain to me.
Well, you put your observations into a model, and geometry helps
observations.
If you want to express the shape of the Earth, you say, well,
drop your model.
It's this and that shape, and that is geometry. No, that's what
we are talking about. Plain answer. Right, okay then. So you are saying that geometry is part of science. Science doesn't prove anything.
Obviously.
How do you prove a straight line, seeing as that is geometric?
Well, there's mathematical proofs, but science generally does not give definitive proofs. It's
How-
always
so,
exploring, always
geometrically-
seeking for the truth.
Geometrically, can you prove a straight line?
In real life, a straight line, or do you mean an abstract straight line?
A straight line. Do you not understand
Well,
the words I'm
you
using?
You need to specify. I mean, if I have an abstract straight line, I can obviously prove it is straight with mathematical axioms and so on.
Okay, so what is a straight line? First of all, you have to define a straight line. What is a straight line?
Well, it's usually in geometry. It's defined as a point and a vector of direction. It's a
Wrong.
straight line.
Wrong.
Is it?
Do you want to try again?
Yeah. It's a one-dimensional shape.
Wrong. Do you want to try again?
No. Then tell me what's wrong about it.
How do you form a straight line? What do you need to form a straight line?
Are we talking about geometry?
Yes, we're
Yes,
talking about geometry.
geometrically.
How many times do you need telling?
Well, it depends.
Go easy on him, DB. I mean, this has got to be tricky, right?
Well, it's not.
He's found
Yeah,
himself
I am
in a
having
really
some
bad
problems here
position.
because it's I don't have my vocabulary straight. So, it depends. If you need,
Geometrically, how do
you
you
need a
form a
line-
straight line?
if you need a line or a line segment or
How
Before
can you
the
have a
line or
line
a curve.
segment if you don't have the line in the first place?
well, a line segment is defined as having two points, two connected points. That's a line segment.
Well, I'm not
And
talking
then
about a
the-
line segment. I'm talking about a line. You need the line before you can take a segment from it, do you not?
No, you don't. For a line segment, you only need 2 points.
There you go.
Are we?
Bam.
There you
He's already
go.
done it.
Bam.
Now, can you prove that?
Well, I'm sure there are theoretical proofs of that, but that's not really what we need to do here.
Could
I'm
you
not
not
sure
do?
why.
Could you not do that
they're
in
doing-
reality?
We're not here for proofs. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
We're not
then-
here to prove things.
He's not. We
no,
are.
no, that's not what I said. That's not what I
Yeah,
said.
no.
Could you
We're talking
have?
about different things here.
Could you have 2 points in reality? Is that possible?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can
So could
define
you
their
prove-
positions accurately.
Could you prove those 2 points? Because you said that's all you need for a straight line. So we're just saying, can we have them in reality? Can we prove them in reality?
Yeah, inside,
we can prove it
inside
then.
a certain
Well,
margin
that's
of
possible.
error, we can certainly
Do
prove
we need
their-
science to be able to prove those 2 points?
Yeah, I mean, if we do it correctly, that is science already. But
Well,
anyway,
The 2 points is science.
What was science? Yeah. What part of the 2 points was science?
if you need to prove, if you want to do accurate measurements, you need to prove that their precisions are right, that you can actually repeat that experiment with the same outcome. That is
But
science.
that's not
yes.
science. You just said
It
science
is.
doesn't
It
prove
is.
anything.
What experiment could you do with 2 points?
A lot of experiments. It depends on what you need those points for.
Well, we was just establishing a straight line, so would that be
Yeah.
an experiment of 2 points and a straight line?
What if you didn't need anything other than the points? Because the points, once you have 2 points, you then have a distance between those 2 points, and that's all you need. Like, there is nothing to science. It's just the 2 points. And those 2 points, vis-a-vis, create a third thing, which is the distance, the straight line.
Pretty much, yeah.
So no science. That's great. We've proved 2 points and a straight line with no science, just reality.
Did you prove that though? What if your senses play tricks on you?
This casting
why it's
doubt
difficult
on you.
Dear,
to
oh
talk
dear.
about proofs. You know?
Dear, oh
Well,
dear.
could
you have got
could you
such a
prove that?
weak argument.
Could
I'm
you
not even. I'm not making an argument.
We
It's
know.
just.
Well, you're trying to like dismiss reality by going, well,
I'm
you
not.
can't trust reality because you could be hallucinating. So,
Well, I think we can actually we can shorten this. If you guys just get to the point you're trying to make since like 10 minutes.
Wow.
we made the point.
Yeah,
The point was
I've made the point.
straight line.
There is no science in geometry. Thank you very much for helping me make that point.
No, that's bullshit. Sorry.
Well, I think he was pretty spot on, right? Or do you still think geometry is scienceable?
What is science, though? Like, how do you?
Well, what do you mean? If you look up to science, what is that even? Can you science geometry? I mean, geometry is science.
No, the answer to that is definitely
Yeah,
no.
let's just answer that question. No.
Geometry is a standalone. It's unique.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's a part of mathematics. And what is mathematics? It's science.
Bro, what?
Oh, wow.
Math is math, bro. Math is math,
Wow.
and science is science. Geometry is geometry, and nary shall the three mix.
I mean, we're just defining words, basically.
No, you want
you
science to be an
you.
almighty master.
I think it's more than that. He's trying to hide proof because he's saying that science holds no proof. Other people within the same realm as him would say that mathematics is the only place you can find proof, and he's trying to merge the two together so that there is no proof. And that is a really
Oh, I'm not
obvious
saying that.
trick for you to be playing.
Yeah, no, that would be wrong to do. I mean, a mathematical proof is not a proof in real life, like a definitive proof.
Can you prove Pythagoras' theorem?
If you say so.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so that's in reality, right?
That's on paper still.
In reality,
if you do
right?
If you do it in reality, there's a number of errors that you can do. That's
Well,
why
buildings are built. Pythagoras is provable in reality, as it is
Because
on
it's
paper,
pretty-
as it is within geometry.
Yeah.
It's
And
obviously
believe
provable.
we have got a guy in here at this very moment who uses it day in, day out, in reality.
Yeah. So what?
To not prove things.
It's pretty straightforward to apply to reality. Pythagoras' theory.
Can I just check? Do you have any geometry training?
I'm a computer scientist.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Have you done any practical work? Surveying?
No, I haven't.
No. What about
Not in a professional capacity. Anyway.
physics?
Yeah.
You've done physics.
Bit.
Do you understand hydrostatics?
In real life, not just computer modeling.
Mm. Have you ever done any surveying or anything like that? Practical geometry?
Oh well, yeah, some practical geometry, but not surveying. No.
Okay, so in understanding the geometry is with straight
Bev.
lines. Sorry, go on.
Can I just ask you what practical geometry you've used then, if not surveying?
Oh well, simple experiments with.
Experiments with geometry implies it's scientific, and we've just established it isn't.
Oh, so if I use geometry in an experiment to set it up or to evaluate results, then it's not
You are
science.
setting up the geometry of the experiment, the geometric parameters that the experiment has to run within. That is not.
Yeah.
You are setting up the experiment using geometry to set up the experiment.
So what would the practical geometry that you've done have been when you were? I know you were doing it in a scientific experiment, but what was that practical geometry that you were doing?
Quite a few things. For example, measuring speed of light with some mirrors and
measuring.
Measuring speed of light with geometry.
Would that be like a straight line measurement or a time measurement?
It was approximately a straight line, but
straight.
Are you a white wizard or a black wizard? Or maybe like a brownish one that lives in the woods. Like, what kind of wizard are you?
He's a blue wizard.
I think so.
Transparent wizard, from my point of view.
Can we just get to the point?
So wait a minute. The practical geometry you did was a light. Did you have to do anything geometric with the light to make it straight? Or this practical geometry seems pretty technical. Was it a big part of your experiment? The practical geometry?
No, not that big. No, not that big. As I said, I'm not a surveyor or anything.
No.
In that regard.
Okay, so I mean, have you ever used a ruler to measure anything?
Yes, I have.
Well, that would have been a better example of some practical geometry than light
it was
going
too
straight.
Too basic for me.
I know we caught you unawares with that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
So the practical geometry, when you did practical geometry, you had an understanding of what straight meant.
Yeah.
I know, because you had the horizontals being parallel. Has anyone sent you a message yet?
Sorry, can you come again?
I said at the beginning of this conversation, you had horizontals being parallel. You remember that?
Yeah.
Has anyone sent you a message yet? Or are you still okay with that one? You want a mulligan?
A message regarding... No, I haven't.
Oh, good.
I think so.
Good. Now, do you have a horizontal plane? I mean, I don't want to sway you, but they called Euclid the king of infinite space. Do you have any sort of size limit on a horizontal plane?
No, it's infinite.
Yeah. And the parallel. Right?
Yeah.
That's good. I'd agree with you, because I think that's how we do surveying with elevation changes. You do think a horizontal plane is a two-dimensional plane, don't you?
No, it would be a three-dimensional plane, as defined in geometry.
Sorry?
Really?
A plane's a two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Length times
no,
breadth.
you have a point and a normal vector. That's a three-dimensional plane. Like it's in three-dimensional space. I'm not sure what
on the plane.
What kind of plane you're talking about?
A horizontal plane. A two-dimensional horizontal plane.
You sure you don't want to take a mulligan?
Then it is a line. Then what you're talking about is a line.
We're talking about a horizontal plane.
Does a line not sit evenly within a plane?
All the straight lines.
Yeah, it can. It can. Yeah.
No, it does. Yeah. A straight line sits evenly within a plane, as defined by the shortest distance between 2 points.
Straight line.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Any horizontal line will sit in a plane at the same position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, any line will sit in a plane. That plane doesn't necessarily have to be horizontal, does it?
No.
No, exactly. So a straight line will sit evenly within a plane no matter what position that plane is in. Therefore, that line is in. Correct?
I guess so, yeah.
Right, it's either a
If I
yes
go-
or a
yeah.
no. Was that correct?
Yeah, well, it depends. If the plane and line, if they
You're
intersect,
struggling. You're struggling here. Planes and lines don't intersect. The line sits within the plane. We agreed on that. How can it even intersect with itself?
Then we are not talking about the same thing.
Well, we're just talking about a basic straight line and a plane. I know, it does get tough.
I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Please do.
Pictures.
Plane.
Yeah.
You have a position and a normal vector. It gives you a plane. Now, if that normal vector is pointing straight up, then you have a horizontal plane, you could say. Then you can have a line that can lie either in that plane or anywhere else.
Yeah, we have an understanding. That's the two-dimensional plane, the one that you're talking about as well, right? So we do know what a plane is. Two-dimensional, okay. Yeah?
Well, it's actually three-dimensional, but if you're
How can
on
the plane be three-dimensional, please?
Well, it exists in three-dimensional space.
Yeah, in reality, yes, planes exist. We understand that. But a plane is only two-dimensional. They do exist in reality, yes, especially when you're signifying horizontal, because that's where horizontals exist in reality.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean, yeah. You can move in 2 dimensions on a plane.
You can only move in 2 dimensions on the plane.
A plane is length and breadth only. There is no third dimension. It's two-dimensional.
Okay, yeah. Then it's not a geometrical plane anymore. Then we are in reality, yeah. We don't have infinite planes. Okay, well, alright.
Wait, what happened when you... Well, like, what invisible Rubicon did you just cross? You have to explain that one.
Sorry?
There was a shift in your brain. I understand what he meant. Something happened then.
Yeah, there was a shift in your definitions or something of the terms in use. Like, it's not geometrical anymore, you said, and it's not infinite plane anymore. Like, something happened there.
You got that message.
It is geometrical, but then if you say plane in reality, like an actual plane would exist in some way, isn't infinite.
I think he just got the message. Yeah. He's just read it.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, is it?
It's not a trick. He just figured it out and don't want to say it.
Coplanar, like 3 points.
3 coplanar points.
Means they're on the same plane. Make a triangle. In reality, everywhere. 3 points. 3 coplanar points. That makes a triangle. A triangle's a 2-dimensional shape. Therefore, 3 points are lying on the same plane. Defined by those 3 points.
Indeed,
the shortest points between those would make a triangle with straight sides.
Yeah. So, I think what you guys are getting at is that if we are talking about a horizontal line or the plane that we're standing on, then that must mean that the Earth is necessarily flat.
Who said anything about standing on it?
Nobody's standing on
We're just
this
talking
plane.
about geometry. Nobody said anything about standing on anything apart from you.
He's jumping on.
Okay, so
your model of fiction is really, really heavily on your shoulders, isn't it?
Perhaps it is.
Yes, it is. It
If you would
evidently
just make
is.
a clear point, and we wouldn't have to recap elementary school geometry. Then
No, we're having to recap elementary school geometry for you.
Well, no, we are
No,
going
it
back
is
to
you who
proof,
keep
and
asking
then this is the way
questions.
for us to, help. We start off at proof. What is a proof? Like, you keep saying it's elementary school geometry, but do you understand the proofs involved within it? Or do you not think that there are proofs within it?
No, there definitely are proofs within it. Yeah.
Okay. But you said there are no proofs in science. But how can you have something that you imagine is part of science that does have proofs in something that you say science does not have proofs? How do you put that within that? Like, how do you put them in the same thing?
Yeah, I see. That there's a problem. Well,
your problem,
I mean,
not ours. That is solely your problem.
It's
No,
a
not
matter of
probably.
definitions.
Definitely,
Then-
we don't have
Wait a
that
minute,
problem.
CP, let him. It needs to go sit through, right? So there's a problem. We've identified a problem. What do we do to sort it? What do you think we should do?
Well, we could say that mathematics is not part of science, and I mean it's a study field, but it's, in itself it is theoretical, it is abstract, and thus therefore not part of science.
Mathematics, you say?
Yeah, which geometry is a part of.
Okay, so geometry. Do you know what geometry is based on?
Yeah.
Go on.
Waiting.
Sorry, what? I didn't.
What
Did
do
you
think?
ask something?
What do you think geometry is based on?
Based on? Well, it's a branch of mathematics.
Okay, so
Yeah, we've established
where does
that.
it come
Bev,
from?
yeah.
I mean, well, it was mainly it was based on Euclid.
Yeah. What do you mean based on Euclid?
He invented. He invented most of it.
He invented geometry.
Invented what? Straight lines and stuff.
Yeah. He came up with the axioms and proofs.
He came up with the axioms.
Yeah, he did.
Did you just pull them out of a hat? Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Did he? Don't you think he just kind of was not the first, but given credit to what's already in reality? He was like, "Hey, look, in reality, when you do this, this is a consequence," and he just wrote it down.
Yeah, I think he just put everything together and ordered it into the axiomatic system that it is. It all existed always, right? And to say one man didn't do that. It's a group of people. Always takes groups. Of people
sure.
To work through stuff.
But he.
But where did he get it from, right?
Yeah, sure. There were many predecessors and successors, obviously.
Yeah.
But still, it's not. You can't say, well, geometry is reality, because reality is not. It's not abstract. It's not perfect. It's not abstract.
Do you know what the etymology of the word is?
Hang on, Bev. So, where do you think the definition of the line and form came from?
Definition of line and form?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that come from. I mean, they probably have like a pendant in reality, but
to study line and form, to get definitions for axioms, to postulate things for line and form, what would you have to study?
You could study reality, because it's pretty useful in that regard. But then on the other hand, show me an infinite line or an infinite plane in reality. Can you do that?
You show me infinity.
Yeah, exactly. So it's abstract, isn't
Can
it?
we go
You
to...
show me infinity, and I'll give you an infinite line and an infinite plane that it sits in.
We get
Yeah,
the
but you get my
etymology
point,
of the
right?
word. Seeing
Yeah, I
as
know
we were
where it comes
already
from.
there.
Greek
Yeah.
Greek meaning.
Meaning earth measurement, like some measurements taken in reality, like DP just said, you've just said.
Yeah.
So that's where the geometry comes from, right? Now,
exactly.
How did they depict those measurements that they took in reality? Line and form. On paper. And they gained proofs from the line and form structure that they made logical deductions from reality using measurements and stuff. I mean, like, if you really look into Euclid, it's a lot deeper than that. There are truths to be found within those line and form and the triangle and the circle and the square and the relationship between all of them that gives you proofs.
Yeah, it does.
Many. That can be translatable back into reality because that's where they came from.
I think that's you're jumping to conclusions here, basically.
You think?
Just because you can prove a theoretical construct, a geometrical line, to be straight, doesn't mean that it is perfectly straight in reality, because it's never perfectly straight or
The shortest
perfectly
distance
level
between 2
or
points.
anything. Yeah. I mean,
you think you
if
could
you talk
could
to
you
any
get
engineer,
a shorter distance than the shortest distance between 2 points? Could you do
if
that?
you make a line in reality, yeah, I can guarantee you that it will never be the actual shortest distance. And if you
Between
talk
two,
to any
like, so if
engineer,
I wait a minute,
he will tell
so
you
if
that.
I in reality put 2 points, would the shortest distance between those 2 points not be a straight line?
It would, yeah, of course.
Okay,
it would.
then, well, brilliant, well done. Can be proved then. In reality.
Yes.
Brilliant. No science involved in that? Seems like not.
Well, as soon as you measure it, what is that?
I was measuring the shortest distance between those 2 points, establishing a
It's
straight line.
not science, that's for sure.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm. I like establishing these proofs and, the way to start off, because that's what we do. Back to basics.
Can we just backtrack to that comment then? So where you said that science, or you implied that geometry is part of science, can we just clarify that statement that you made was misleading at best?
Well, I mean, it's not an empirical science, it's formal science.
It's not science. So that geometry is not part of science. You have established that yourself.
Well, I think I was wrong. There's distinction. I mean, if you define the word science, it's just knowledge, from Latin scientia. And there's empirical science, what you can directly measure in reality and experiment on and test. And there's formal science, which is geometry, for example, or mathematics. And the Greeks, when they started, it was empirical science.
So how much of this have you done? Or are you just sort of Googling this stuff now and trying to come across all hoity-toity? What have you actually studied for this particular subject you are talking for right now?
Well, I've studied I've had some mathematics, like analytical geometry analysis and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Any practical
yeah, of course,
geometry? Like, so in reality, what of that?
Well, yes, the basic stuff, using a ruler and practical geometry like measurements and.
What about a larger scale?
I'm not sure what's it called in English.
What's the largest straight line you've ever measured?
I'm not a surveyor, as I've said.
Okay, so what are you talking for now? You're trying to say something about geometry in reality being, what was it? Not exact, was it? Were you saying? Are you saying geometry the people that do practical geometry in reality, are you saying they can't prove, whenever you ask somebody to do a measurement or something in reality, are you saying there's a science wiggle room in there, or is it an actual measurement, a direct measurement?
It is a measurement.
Okay.
It is a measurement, but it will always have a margin of error, for example.
Straight error. Where would the error occur? Can you, like, in reality, can you triangulate to check? And when you do surveying, I know you've never really done much. Could you sort of close your loop to check how exact you have been?
Yeah, of course. You can do the measurement multiple times, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Narrow down, get more values, figure out, to get a more exact, more precise result, for example.
Yeah.
Measure twice, cut once.
And like, sort of, what sort of distance do you reckon that could be? Like, I'm basically saying, in reality, do you think you could prove a straight line, right? The shortest distance between 2 points, and would that be the typical meaning of a straight line, or do you think there would be some sort of scientific wiggle room on the meaning of straight in reality? I know we've had rumpus around here today saying all bets are off in reality, but I mean, straight means straight in geometry, but
yeah, well, if there is scientific wiggle room, yes, for sure. If you measure something in reality, straight line and shortest distance, there will be wiggle room for sure.
So, like, when you get the shortest distance, how much wiggle room would you be allowing for?
It depends on the means on your tools and how you measure it.
Well, let's say you could triangulate as well.
It's probably be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
You know.
I would say so too.
So if you both have wiggle room and you can determine what the shortest distance is, like, how do you coincide those two? Because if you can determine the shortest distance, then you must have eliminated all wiggle room in order to determine that in the first place. So how can you hold both of them simultaneously?
Well, I'm saying, well, I'm not sure, but this shortest distance, I mean, in most cases, it will probably be sufficient for whatever you are using it for. But it won't be perfect, you know, it won't be abstract geometry like on paper.
I mean, is it
that's
not...
basically all I'm trying to say.
But I'm asking, like, is it not either the shortest distance or not the shortest distance? Like, is it not one of the two?
Yes, it is.
The law of excluded middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have the shortest distance, how can you also have wiggle room?
How do we have the shortest distance? How can you assume that this is actually the perfect shortest distance? Because you cannot assume that.
Didn't we just measure it earlier? And then you said there was wiggle room? Didn't we measure the shortest distance just earlier?
Yeah, we measure it and then there's wiggle room. right? So
There's
it's
wiggle
not,
room for a shorter
it's a pretty
distance
good.
than the shortest
Yeah.
distance. I mean, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you saying right now? Like, do you not see yourself that what you're saying contradicts itself? Do you not see it?
No, I'm not contradicting myself. The distance you will get will probably be pretty good, like extremely accurate.
He's saying because it's
You
not
know?
perfect, you're not going to get the perfect distance between those 2 points.
So what are you measuring it
Exactly.
against then?
It's not perfect.
So then you're not measuring the
No, the
shortest
shortest
distance.
distance. Sorry, yeah, you're measuring the
You're
shortest
definitely
distance. So
not
how can you say there's
measuring the
wiggle room?
shortest distance. Definitely not, because there's definitely wiggle room. So there's definitely not the shortest distance then. Okay, we just have to be very clear about what we're saying here. It's important, you know.
I'm getting pretty tired of this hair splitting. I would appreciate if we would just get to the point.
Yeah, you're measuring the shortest distance, but you say there's wiggle room. So what instrument are you using to measure the wiggle room then?
No. It cannot be the shortest distance if there's wiggle room. Like those two things do not coincide. You can not, conclude that any distance is the shortest distance if you also conclude there's wiggle room. Do you not see this?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I know you do, but I'm just saying, like, we have to focus on the contradiction. We can't ask other questions around the point. The point is the contradiction you're making right now. That is the point.
Now the distance you're measuring, depending on how you do it, will probably be pretty good, like the best you will need in any practical case. So I'm not sure. It is, you can accept it as the shortest distance, but there will still be wiggle room.
Then I do not accept it as the shortest distance. I'm sorry, no. I don't accept
How do you know
that.
there's even wiggle room? Where are you getting this?
Because it's reality. Because that's the point of the whole
No,
argument.
you're just saying. Hold on. You just said it's reality.
I know
Okay,
what
we
you
measured a distance 12 inches. How can you prove that measurement is wrong?
Well, I can run the measurement again and see if I get a different value. But
So the 12 is okay. So again, when we're measuring, if you're just going to say the measurement is wrong, then why are we even measuring?
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Okay, so then it's right.
It is the shortest distance between 2 points.
For all intents and purposes, it's just right, and nobody's going to even bother. But
If you can't articulate where it's wrong, it's not wrong. That's just you thinking it's wrong.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Let's go on.
I get what you're saying, and
move on.
My response to that is this: I can understand you're saying, "Oh, it's not exact." Okay, well, if it's not exact, then you need to show that it's not. Just saying, "Well, we can never get to 1 trillion digits of an inch, therefore we don't have a straight line." That's not good.
Yeah, that's right. If I would claim that, I would need to show that it is not correct or not exact enough.
So we're using the best measuring equipment we've got at the moment, and you're saying there's still wiggle room. So how do you prove there's wiggle room then? Because you can't surpass the best measuring equipment we've got at the moment.
Yeah, then I wouldn't. It would be stupid to do.
Well, that's what you're saying, though. There's still wiggle room. But where's the wiggle room?
What makes you say that? If it's not something
because I know how you will continue this. You will say, well, we have a straight line of horizon, so Earth is a perfect flat plane.
Oh, you're jumping 5 years ahead of yourself. Come back.
I know what the game.
Jumping ahead and building a straw man.
Okay.
At the same time.
We're just trying to establish a base to start off with, right? I'm not willing to establish a base that says we can't establish a straight line to start. Like, that's a really shaky place to start from. I'm not starting from there.
Okay, so let's agree you can measure a straight line. That will be, for all intents and purposes, the best measurement you will ever need.
Yeah, and it will actually be the shortest distance between those 2 points, a straight line, as in the straight line that's understood as a straight line.
And will sit evenly within a plane of 2 dimensions. Correct us if we're wrong.
It may seem very basic, but I mean, that's where we're starting at. Basic fundamentals, so everybody can make sure we understand what we're saying. I mean, we've not even started on the Euclidean geometry yet.
Yeah, I was still waiting for us to get in there. You know, like this is. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know that we're never going to get there because this is what happens every time.
Yeah. Well, that's why we get to we'll do the Euclid nights, obviously, without this.
Yeah,
it has to be done separately.
It's kind of frustrating, and I can see why everybody gets so offensive because it's frustrating.
Remember,
isn't it?
Yeah. Do you remember those 4 and 5 hour conversations we've had just about a straight line?
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. That was
that's a rookie
50
number.
and gently.
50 disappeared afterwards, never to be seen again.
No, he has. He's come back. He come back.
Oh, has he?
Never come back over here. Yeah.
Bless you, 50.
50's got his nuts on the line, hasn't he? If 50's not going to come back.
And Brad, the science guy, joined him.
Yeah. Strange bets people put on for, so sure are they that their model affliction is true.
Can I make an analogy? The saying that what Michelangelo once said about his sculptures, that it's not that he is, carving it into the stone. It's that he is finding the sculpture within the stone. It's already there. He just has to chisel it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the same is true for the straight line. Yeah. That analogy works for the same line. The straight line is there. You can find it in reality. Or no. I mean, feel free to correct me, but I feel that's quite spot on.
Yeah, but Michelangelo, I could actually see it.
Yeah, and that's besides the point, of course.
Well, a line is one-dimensional, like we said at the beginning. The 2 points and the shortest distance, like Sarigaki says, that defines the straight line. That's definitely there. If you put 2 points anywhere in reality, there will be a shortest distance between those 2 points.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that works the other way. If there isn't 2 points, there is no straight line.
Mm-hmm. And, as well, geometrically speaking, there would be because we're talking in reality, the shortest distance between 2 points would have to be horizontal. That would be across, looking down on a plan as you would do it. Because if they were at different elevations, the shortest distance would be the hypotenuse of the triangle.
Yeah.
So that would be across the floor a larger distance because it's a hypotenuse rather than the base of the triangle, the horizontal. In reality, from place to place on a map, the shortest distance between 2 points is a horizontal distance. In reality, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I know where you're going with this. Yeah, and then the water's flat, then the earth is flat, and then I gotta go to confession. I'm not playing this game.
Yeah. I'd rather just not have a straight line in reality, rather than contemplate reality being as it is. It's a strange place to come from.
No, just to be clear, of course, if you have 2 points and 2 well-defined points, there is a shortest distance, which is a straight line between them, and you can measure this distance to a pretty high degree of accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Yeah, there are professional people with professional jobs that do that for a living.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you a surveyor?
I have a surveying qualification, yes.
Okay.
I have an auto level. There's a few of us that have used them. Set them up. Understand them.
I feel privileged to have been able to look through your camera through one.
Yeah. Yeah, we try and give everybody that experience of
Yeah, I was
using them.
just about to say, virtually everybody on this server has at least looked through the optics of an auto level and understand the principles behind the auto level.
Can I just ask a question? Much. It's got a pretty narrow line of sight.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, you go on.
The chap speaking earlier, he said, if the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, he keeps on dropping them sort of ifs and buts and maybes in. You know, the shortest distance.
I think we've all established, and he's in agreement that it is the shortest distance between 2 points.
Yeah, but the last question you just asked was, if the shortest distance. So he's
that's his Dunning-Kruger kicking in. You can't blame him for it.
Yeah, but this is going out live and people are hearing it, so it's putting doubt in people's minds, and there should be no doubt
of a straight line. The shortest distance being he did agree that in reality there is a shortest distance between 2 points, and that is a straight line, and you can measure it as accurately as it can be measured.
Correct us if we're wrong.
The distance of the line is no on its straightness, right? Like that's how straight it is. You can make it longer and not know how the distance. It would still be just as straight.
Like your infinite line on your infinite plane that doesn't exist. After all, a straight line is extendable indefinitely in either direction, as is a plane.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So why did you raise the question about that statement earlier, if you already knew and understood that is how geometry works?
Well, I guess I was just trying to understand what you were talking about. Like if you were talking about an actual plane, like let's say a table, and say that it's like
well, hang on, hang on. You've just limited. You have just limited that plane to the size of the table.
Yeah, and
for example, I only wanted to know what you were talking about. But I think we've established that.
Your sophistry really doesn't work here. You know that, don't you? Or you should know that by now. Your word wizardry doesn't work here. Do you understand that?
It wasn't word wizardry.
Yes, it was. You were limiting. You were limiting the plane to the size of the table.
The endless plane.
No, I didn't say that. I was merely
the line will extend endlessly in every direction, so will the plane, and now you just go to the next point where you say, okay, let's say it's a table. A table has limits, it has edges, it has dimensions.
Do you even listen? Do you even listen?
Yeah, it's a equivocation fallacy. Yeah.
I don't want to listen to you.
We've now established what we were talking
Don't
about.
defend the logical fallacy, please, especially after it's been pointed out. It's not fun.
Yeah,
Especially
just
you've
double
just
down.
been,
Double
you've been
down
run
on
on
your
by the
bullshit.
new guy. This is bad. This is really bad, right? The guy that's only just come in here can spot your sophistry. You're laying it out on the table for everyone to see.
Open, wide open. It's embarrassing for you. It's great for us.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you a flat Earth any more real, but
it's not.
You know,
We're not flat
Nobody has claimed anything about flat Earth. What?
Nobody had. The only person here who has mentioned anything to do with the shape or form, all we're talking about is geometry. The only person here who has brought in a model is you, and you brought that in with you. You're sad. You are really sad.
It's like the only reason I couldn't learn geometry to start. Like my teacher in math and geometry, he was Greek. He was Kenan, and he was explaining all of this, but I couldn't get a single thing into, like, I couldn't learn because everybody was in my classroom was just shouting and screaming and fucking around, and they would rather watch Rambo killing a whole bunch of people than learn math and geometry. So I come here. This is the last bastion for me.
Oh, well, wait till we get into it.
I'm waiting.
The geometry's another matter
with all of these people. So.
But you being able to spot this sophistry, right? Because it's all over the place, especially rife in this particular area, and that's why a lot of people don't like to come here, because people will literally argue about straight lines for hours because the model affliction makes them fight the straight line of reality.
Yeah, it's hard to move forward when you're like, all right, we're going to count to 10. 1, B. You're like, no, 1, B. You're like, oh, we're never going to get to 10 at this rate, Jesus.
Yeah, we've got Alan in the chat as well telling us that geometry is not reality. But, I mean, you can definitely, like we've just said, Alan, 2 points, there is definitely a shortest distance between them. Therefore, geometry's real. You're not going to get away from that, man. That's ridiculous.
I think you've just missed the point that he's putting in everybody's head as well.
Yeah.
It's because when you look at a table, it's flat. So therefore, he's going back to the model as well, because either you're a glober or you're flatty, and a flat is level, horizontal, and he's putting that doubt in your head. I think everybody missed that.
No, I called him out. It's an equivocation fallacy. Yeah, I told him.
Yeah, I think he was more focused on limiting the plane, which is what he had to do at that moment.
Unaware of how far he has to limit it yet, though.
That's where their argument is always going. It's either it's global or it's flat. It's not. But because certain words conjure up things in your mind, and so it can't be flat because we've got fucking hills and mountains and all this sort of shit and everything like that. So you just dismiss that. So it's got to be globe. Bullshit. You've got to be very careful of what they exactly say.
I think you're getting very close to model reification here.
Oh, I don't live in the model, mate. I live in reality. But the words.
Have you not heard? Have you not heard the New Year's way forward for this, for what we're doing?
No, unfortunately, no. I wasn't on for that.
No more. When you come in here, you leave the model at the door.
Yeah.
I don't live in a model.
No, I know, but you are talking about both models.
No, I'm on about the words that trigger the models.
No, exactly. No, But you are reifying the idea of either model at this moment.
Just talking about it.
Just talking about it.
I know the one, I know the other. You know both. It's like I don't know anything. I just presume I don't know anything when I come here. Like they say, leave it at the door and sit down. Shut up.
Okay, I'll sit down and shut
Don't
up.
talk gibberish. Gibberish.
Yeah, it is when you first experience what occurs when you just try and have a conversation. you sit back and you wonder what's going on. I mean, normally when you come into this arena, because it's not a normal, like, it's not a community, absolutely not. It is an arena. So when you come into it and you sit back and you listen, the conversations you'll hear are crazy. Just round and round, circular arguments, never ending. Never reaching a conclusion, always tangenting off to some other strange thing that somebody else has just thought brain farted. It's mental the way it occurs, and it just rolls on and you get lost in it. Most people will just leave and never come back because it's literally crazy. But hopefully we can try and find some sort of order out of it. But in doing that, we still need to talk to people. To, like, if you hadn't have experienced it, I know it's going to be crazy. Like when you leave here, because I don't know what you're going to think of this place. But I mean, this is like an open forum at the minute, and it's not normally this open, and you joined on a day where Rumpus and
I was just gonna mention how crazy is it?
How crazy is today?
The first time you come in here, Rumpus comes and calls you a twat. What?
Oh man, that was really out of order of him, and on his behalf, I apologise to you. That was completely uncalled for.
A 30-minute Rumpus coming in and calling you a twat. That's a welcoming. Like,
yeah, that's amazing.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, every other server will be banning you.
Yeah, but wait till you find out how big a dude that Rumpus is within this community and how much credence and everybody gives him. Like, he's one of the gods of this. Like, you mean, all of the other people, Hoymar.
Yeah, he's
like,
one of the gods of this.
I agree.
Yeah, like lowercase g gods. Yeah, it's true.
What?
That's
And
it.
well
That's
done for pissing him off.
Yeah.
Well done for pissing him off on your first day, man. That's fucking way to go.
Like, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't like, these questions are so big that I just want to sit down and listen. It's like, sit down and listen. Everybody keeps shouting, no, I know, look at me, I know. That's all I hear. I just hear all this noise. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's unbearable.
Yeah. It's the calming. Spot on said.
Like,
part of it is a calming of the mind. You need to be able to relax, calm the mind, and put it in a certain place for you to be able to absorb this stuff. When it comes,
people earn my respect simply by enduring this. Like, you're still doing this. I really admire you, and I want to see what this is all about.
Well, welcome. And we are going to be doing
Thank you.
quite a lot of this starting this year. I mean, basically, what we've been doing, we'll have to keep going over this quite a lot. What we've been doing over the past 2 years is we've been developing a team of people through friendships and learning opportunities. You're just part of that now. Like, they're no different than everybody else that's here. And we are going to be going through this process that we have gone through, right? All of us have gone through this process many times me personally, I've gone through it quite a lot. I've lived it. But we'll keep going through it. And again, you've joined us just at the right time, because this is where we start. Not quite tonight. These steps are little tiny baby steps, and we'll keep going backwards and repeating it and learning more. But just put it in your mind. What is it that you would require as a proof of something? To give you an idea, to prove a straight line, shortest distance between 2 points. That's the definition. First off, you have to define what it is that you're trying to establish a proof of. And the better the definition, picked because a straight line is the definition, is the proof. It's the simplest thing you can ever have is if you define the straight line as the shortest distance between 2 points, then that becomes the proof, because it can be measured and it definitely exists as shortest distance. And logically, it has to be a straight line. There is no other way it could possibly be not a straight line. The proof on the proof. So if you can start off with an actual proof and a way of understanding that it is achievable, well, you've got one step further on the mark than a lot of other people will have. Because I don't know who's listening. I hope Nathan's listening, because that was embarrassing last night.
Could I bring up, could you post, Bev, in the live chat, the horizontal logic meme?
Yeah,
Maybe we could go over that real quick, because that one is good.
This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Okay, right.
Right, so we are definitely going to go over it tomorrow, but to give you an idea as a quick run over, yeah, I'll
Can't wait for that. I'm so looking forward to that.
I did say that this to DP when we did this. It was such fun doing the t-shirt and like this is gonna be good. Like we knew as soon as we got onto this, the whole thing.
I saw that we should get some of them t-shirts.
Yeah. Click on that image there and look at that one.
What time are you going over this tomorrow, UK time?
It'll be 8 o'clock-ish, I think.
8 o'clock UK time. Okay, lovely.
Tuesday night is logic night.
Yeah, that's the basic logic that we're going to be going over tomorrow. And we did go over it with Hoymar earlier.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exciting.
Looks like Celtic Tigers found the memes and GIFs room. Well done, that man.
Yeah. That's what we need. Next level.
Yeah, props DP for all the memes. That's it's fantastic.
Oh, we've not really got started yet with that. You want to see what's coming. Hopefully we can get this nice sequence of events coming.
Oh,
to
yes.
bring all of this right. Logos is being very favourable to us.
I have noticed, Bev, that I've given you some memes that haven't been put out. So I'm looking forward to.
I'm waiting the timing. Logos will tell us when everything. There's a few of them need a voiceover and some voicing to be going on them. That's one thing that needs to be done. We need to start working on that. We have been distracted by certain people.
Yeah, time to move on from the distractions. Regain the focus.
That last Logos one isn't working. That was a good one. We've not seen Mobius for a bit. I hope he's all right.
Maybe just busy over Christmas. I've been in touch with him in DMs a couple of times, so I think he's good.
Right. Well, it's midnight. We've been going for 2.25 hours. It was a quick impromptu one. Drop the link in the Discord if anybody wants to come in to the Discord. This is where it's all at.
It's been busy in the landing tonight as well. So many new people turned up on the server.
Yep. Once we get 1,000, then we can get some extra boosts and stuff. Get on the community page.
Is that 444 now? Yep, 444. That's over 100 members since just before Christmas.
It's going to be getting good. Music night. I'm going to be putting that Buster music one out as well. Buster and Shane Omar. So get ready for the music nights. Live music. World's famous Buster. And
new track coming out very, very soon.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
If you were lucky enough,
If you were lucky
enough to be listening, New Year.
It's gonna have to have a T-shirt, DP.
Sorry?
It's gonna have to have a T-shirt.
What, the secret agent?
The launch of the agents, yeah.
Logos.
Yeah.
Agents of the logo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, sort that one out. Right, okay. We will definitely be out back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock ish. Hopefully dead on 8. Logic night. Anybody got anything they want to have a go at before we shut off for the live stream?
I'd just like to welcome the newcomers.
Yeah, it's this is an exciting place, and I think tonight's been one of the unique